Hey there. I am thrilled today to be speaking with Lisa Berger. Lisa is a copywriter who understands what travel writers need to have in their skill set in order to do a good job for your hotel, in order to help you create a good media PR buzz. So, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jeremiah. It's great to be here.
And she's been kind enough to put together a PDF, which you will get at the end of this presentation, that gives you the 12 questions that you really need to ask. And during today's presentation, she's going to go over the five that are really, really key. If you only ask these questions, you're going to have a really good understanding of whether you're working with a competent travel writer or not, right? So thank you so much, Lisa. First of all, let me start things out. What are the qualities of a good travel writer in your experience?
Well, Jeremiah, I like travel writers who can actually bring a destination to life, who can uncover what's special about it in order to bring interest to potential travelers and bring stories across in a personal and captivating way so the reader is transported, per se, to that destination, actually seeing himself already there. And the story also needs to be specific for a particular type of guest. For example, an outdoorsy traveler most likely won't be interested in a spa story, and vice versa. Another helpful trait of a travel writer is the ability to build the value of a hotel for the price. And sometimes it's even good to talk about this place may seem a little expensive, but when I got A, B, and C, I was blown away.
Exactly. So that's what a hotel is looking for. That's what they need to make sure that their PR buzz is out there, is helping them create results. Now I'm going to move on to the first question that you have in your PDF here, and I put it in the chat. How can hotels make sure that the writer understands how to write to their current and future guests?
Well, a lot of writers think their job is just to describe the area by what it looks like, but it's not. In fact, they need to be able to understand each particular type of traveler and what their interests and needs are, what they're really looking for in a destination. For example, a family visiting an area to hike and or fish has different desires than a couple who wants to rekindle the relationship. Because no one article or Facebook ad will connect with everyone. They have to be targeted to specific demographics of the various travelers. And the writer needs to dig into the core, deeper benefits to connect with the emotions of the reader. This helps the reader imagine himself or herself at the location while they're in the dreaming and planning phase. And if a traveler is looking for a peaceful retreat, don't say it's peaceful. Say something like, the only sounds you hear are rustling of blank, the squeaks of blank, the sloshing of the blank ocean as it slides between the jagged rocks that frame the sandy cove where this hotel sits. Now, doesn't that make you want to go there if you're wanting a quiet getaway?
Yeah, it definitely paints a picture. So you're saying that if the travel writer doesn't ask the hotelier what their most valuable travel segment is, then it's kind of a red flag.
Exactly. They need to be aware of that. And that should be one of their first questions.
Perfect. And you also said that people need to write in a genuine way. Express their opinions, use their character. Um, so, what do you think? Should they also be a part of the hotel's best guest segment, or at least tell them, show them that they've written for that segment before?
That would be very helpful. Not every writer will be in the best guest segment, but it's important that a writer can get in the mind in the head of their best guest segments.
Right. So if nothing else, at least they're aware of that and they're showing the hotelier that they are aware of that. Very, very key. Thank you so much. Let me move to the next question. You talked about telling stories, and in this question, how can we make sure that the travel writer knows how to interview locals, hotel staffs, and guests with the right questions to get the right story?
Yes, everyone thinks that writing a story is about talking about the hotel, but in fact, it's talking to the locals to get personal stories into an article. I like it when travel writers actually do research on an area before they visit it. That way, they have an idea what has not been talked about before. This helps them decide who all to interview and to prepare the initial questions beforehand to get the right story so they don't miss anything. It also helps the story stay focused on certain types of readers to fit different publications. And they need to ask questions that require more than just a yes or no answer. Because who knows? The writer may uncover interesting secrets or facts that are new to potential travelers. Adding hidden things to do or hard to find spots in an area add a lot of value to the reader. And it's also good when people get very personal about their story. This is a great way to compete with Airbnb by having real life experiences that connect with the reader.
Excellent. So they really have to be somebody that's going to go through the buying journey so that they know what people need ahead of time, right?
Yeah, they need to get familiar with the area.
Excellent, excellent. And in the next question, uh, I'm sorry, Lisa, my mic was just clicked off for a second there. Um, Let me repeat myself. Then moving on to the next question, where you're saying that they really have to go through the buying journey. They have to understand what guests want, and the next question is about how they express that. How can we make sure that they are capturing special moments in photos that show the deep benefits of the hotel and really show what people want, what they desire when they travel?
Well, many travel writers think they should only take pictures of the hotel building, of Main Street, the beach, or the pool. So many times I see that on websites. But instead, they need to take natural life photos with people and animals in them to bring across a personal warmth of the story. This helps the reader further envision himself at that specific location to increase the dreaming phase and to make a subconscious connection to that place. Because pictures that tell a story are hard to forget. When a reader sees a great shot that relates to him or her, it increases his or her desire to go there and to actually experience that. For example, you can get pictures of families splashing in the pool or kids playing outside, a couple eating a romantic meal or strolling down the beach.
That is so true. I think one of the biggest missed opportunities I see in a lot of hotels' websites is they have an activities page and they just list the activities. They don't use that as a storytelling opportunity. Um, so I completely agree. I've seen pictures of a pug with a dandelion in its mouth get shared more and give a hotel more PR than a picture of an edifice ever does. I see that all the time.
Yeah, those unplanned shots or unstaged pictures are great because you can tell.
Excellent, excellent. Let me move on to the next question. But just to repeat, so a hotel should look at a travel writer's work, what they've done in the past, and make sure that people, friendships, families, pets are a big portion of that work. Correct?
Yes, very much so.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. Uh, how do we make sure that a travel writer knows how to write an effective query letter that gets an editor's attention to increase the hotel's publicity?
You might be surprised, but a lot of travel writers send in vague query letters to an editor, or their story covers a broad topic. The truth is, it needs to be short and to the point for a quick read for the editor, because editors love it when the writer makes their job easier. And you only have about 5 seconds to catch their attention, so the first couple sentences are very important. And there are different strategies to use depending on the type of article you're approaching them with. One strategy is the personal anecdote. For example, the writer can reveal how a hotel met their every need and how it went above and beyond. Now, another detail is that the article must have a specific idea that benefits the readers of that particular publication, such as an annual festival, the 5 best sushi restaurants nearby, 3 favorite trails hikers love, or this hotel will save your marriage. Many times, a hotel has different guest segments because of what the area has to offer, and each segment reads specific magazines according to their interests. Therefore, the article must be on target with the audience of that specific publication. For example, a restaurant article can go to food magazines. The hiking article can go to outdoor magazines. The hotel article can go to couples or family magazines. They don't have to be just travel magazines that you approach.
Well, that's excellent. I really like that because when you have the niche focus on articles, then it's easy for the hotel sales staff to use that material in their proposals. They can they can say, "Oh, you're doing a wedding party. Oh, well, these are the things that people have written about that are specific to wedding parties." Um, so I think that's great. And you also touched on one of my pet peeves. It's when a travel writer approaches a hotel and says, "I have 50,000 followers on Twitter or Instagram," and so what? If those followers are not the target demographic, it's not going to help the hotel, right?
Exactly. It's probably just their friends.
Right. So we want to make sure that they know how to place a specific niche focused article in a specific publication that's reaching our best guests.
Yes. It takes time, but it's worth it. Just search that out.
Perfect. 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 Um, in the next question, you talk about how we make sure that they know how to target on platforms such as Facebook or pay per click or through the hotel's email list. How do we make sure that they have that marketing savvy?
Well, many travel writers don't understand the marketing behind Facebook or PPC targeting, that the ads need to be specific in their headlines and in the article itself to catch the eye of the right traveler. Because you have romantics, you have families, you have adventurers, and that's same with the hotel's email list. You want to send your list interesting information that appeals to them. It gives the reader a deeper reason to book with a particular hotel, especially if there's a promise that appeals to the emotions, because that's a more effective call to action. and paint a picture so the reader sees himself or herself enjoying the benefits of that promise. Plus, adding testimonials or quotes from those who were interviewed strengthens the promise and makes it more real for the reader. Because if there's a spa in a hotel, you'd want to target couples or individuals who like getting spa treatments.
Mm.
If there's mountains with hiking trails to explore, you want to target families and outdoor adventure travelers. And nowadays, so many locations have a variety of things to do, but you can't put them all in one article or ad. They have to be single topics for targeting. That's so important.
Right. It can't just be a cornucopia, like here's all the great stuff in an area, because it's like a dog that's chasing after pigeons and it's just scattering them all over the place if you're not targeted. Um, and that also brings up the point that the person should start with the end in mind, so that when you're speaking with the travel writer, if they have an idea of which group on Facebook they're going to go after, well, then on their trip to the hotel, on their stay experience, while they're writing their article, they are focusing on that end goal and the promise that really is going to resonate with that group. Um,
Right. The purpose of every article should be written down in the notes so you don't deviate away from that. You may come up with a new story idea, but that's great, but don't deviate from each article's purpose.
I see. So a hotel should ask the travel writer which communities they're going to target, um, maybe right after they ask them, after they have that conversation about what best guest segment their hotel serves, right?
Yes, because you can set demographics
Mm-hmm.
in the Facebook ads.
Okay. Well, perfect. Um, I'm going to switch back to my camera. We wanted to make this really quick because it's almost lunchtime and everyone's busy. So let me switch back here. So thank you so much for speaking with us, Lisa. Now we covered 5 questions out of the 12 that you really need to ask yourself in order to get a good understanding of what a travel writer does. You can find that PDF at moredirectbooking.com/Lisa. And there you can also schedule your 30-minute working call with her. This is where she'll work with you to go through the questions. And it's not a sales call, it's not a qualification call, it's a working call. And Lisa, tell us a little bit more about what you're going to do for hotels during that phone call.
Sure, I'd be happy to. On our working call, I'll brainstorm with you for ideas to help answer these questions about your specific hotel. We'll also discuss what makes your hotel unique and what gives it value over your competition. And this is your USP, and it should be included in all of your stories and ads so people recognize your brand. We can also create special offers that have a PR purpose, and I'll offer advice on what you're currently already doing and on what you want to do for your promotions. And then once all the questions are answered, you keep that document. So when you talk with another travel writer, you can compare my answers to theirs. This will help you get a good idea on how well informed another writer is and if you should work with them or not.
Well, perfect. I'm sure that will bring a lot of value for hoteliers so that they're working with travel writers who know their stuff and they're using PR as they should to create their own fame, to create their own platforms. So again, you can find that at moredirectbooking.com/Lisa. And really, thank you so much for talking with us today, Lisa. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeremiah. It was my pleasure.
Great. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.